Good evening, friends. Stephen Ben-Nun with Israeli News Live, and I'm joined here once again with Deborah Tavares. And Deborah, it is always something in the world going on and doesn't ever seem to be good news, unfortunately. But at any rate, please share with us some of the things that you are discovering here just recently.
Well, thank you so much, Stephen. Again, this is Deborah Tavares. I run the website stopthecrime.net, and of course the hot topic today is, or always, is primarywater.org. We're not running out of water. Water is a renewable. Having said that, I want to say just a couple of things before I launch into what Steve referred to as not always good news, because at least if we know things, we can use that information to our advantage in some regard. So I just want to state a couple of things right now. I have just learned, I had never realized this before, but when people sign up on my website to get my email blast outs, they are now literally purging the sign-ups from my website. So if you think you've signed up and you haven't received anything for a while, please sign up again on stopthecrime.net and maybe tag your calendar. We're working around the clock here in Northern California and elsewhere from information that we receive from people we know all over the world. And I'm posting and sending out blast outs, and it's all for your opportunity to understand what you can do to harden up as best possible, given the enormity of the realities that we face. And I recently sent out a blast out, and this is going to be the primary topic for this evening, and I will close it out on another current event. But the primary topic for this evening is what is happening with the gamma radiation counts in the United States. Now, I've reported on this before, and all of you can find this information on a website that I will give you now so that you can get this information direct for yourself. You can sign up and you will get these updates as well. You go to duweapons@gmail.com. That's that's duweapons@gmail.com. And Bob Nichols runs this website. I've known about his work for years. Bob Nichols is a Project Censored Award winner, a former correspondent for the San Francisco Bayview newspaper, and a frequent contributor to many online publications. He reports on war, politics, and the 2 nuclear weapon labs in the Bay Area. Bob is writing a book based on 20 years of nuclear war in Central Asia. He is a former employee of an Army ammunition plant. So again, you can find Bob, duweapons@gmail.com. And this is some of Bob's breaking news, and it's vital that all of you understand, because there is evidence that someone is attacking the United States with deadly levels of radiation, and it's being covered up. Again, I will repeat that because it's quite a mouthful. There is evidence that someone is attacking the United States with deadly levels of radiation, and it's being covered up. So here's what we're finding out about this. They've been sitting on this story. Bob and his group have been sitting on the story because it's hard science, it's real evidence, if something's terribly wrong, and we do not enjoy publishing this. This is how he's starting this article. The enemy is in the United States. So in other words, they know that the enemy is within. Okay? That's important to understand because, of course, we know that. Goes on to say, the reactors at Raleigh, North Carolina, and Portland, Maine must be shut down without delay. The reactors' records are screaming that they are in big trouble. Kill the reactors, he says, in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Portland, Maine. Save American lives. So you have to appreciate why they're not destroying those reactors. In fact, we've known for many years that there's an ongoing intentional release of radiation from the nuke plants. Everywhere, intentionally releasing the radiation. And I've heard about that being done for a very, very long time. He says the Portland, Maine reactor sailed past the total gamma count at America's H-bomb making factory in Colorado Springs. This is in Colorado on June 30th of 2021, just a few days ago before this writing. How much gamma radiation do you think you absorbed in a week ago or 10 years ago? Fact is, nobody knows except those in the military or those that are running this war against us. There are gamma readings for Colorado Springs and Portland, Maine, and Raleigh, North Carolina, and Little Rock, Arkansas. The make safe level is 20 million gamma radiation counts for your entire lifetime. 20 million gamma counts, not to exceed that for your entire life. And the gamma radiation in America far exceeds that. We're getting the counts within a brief period of time. He's talking about from January 1st of 2010 to June the 30th to 2021. That is just 11 years. And we're getting counts that are superseding what we should ever have, period. And you can go and look on his website and see the counts. It's horrifying. It's truly horrifying. You must get this information out everywhere you can. We are under such mass attacks from every direction. It's hard to keep up with all of the attacks that we're under. So I want to alert you to an email blast out I sent out a few weeks ago, because in talking to Bob, at one point, that would be Bob Nichols, who runs the DU Weapons website. I found an article some time ago about a truck that was hauling or ways in which they transport radiation, making low enrichment fuel rods. And this truck crashed, it tipped over. And I asked Bob to explain this to me. How could a truck carrying that kind of deadly airborne poisons just tip over? And so here's that conversation I had with Bob. And again, it's in an email blast. So if you go to stopthecrime.net, go to blast outs or email blast, you'll see it's called Mobile Chernobyl. Mobile Chernobyl. And here's how they're doing it to us. So I asked Bob to comment on a truck carrying radioactive uranium compound that crashed on I-95 in Cumberland, sparking evacuation. And this was back on March 31st of 2021. And you need to know this intentional crash operation creates what is called a mobile Chernobyl. Note, the truck was operated by Hitman, H-I-T-T-M-A-N, Transport Service based in Tennessee. Interesting, I thought that was the truck operation name. Maybe it has nothing to do with a Hitman team dispersing radiation through a mobile Chernobyl-type disbursement program. But according to the U.S. Department of Transportation record, the company was in good safety standing records. The records show it has 5 citations for hazardous material issued since March of 2019. Now, it's in good standing. Only 5 hazardous citations issued since March of 2019. 2 of the 4 1,000-gallon containers of uranium hexafluoride that the truck was carrying fell off the truck as it just happened to overturn. So what is the definition of radioactive uranium? Ingestion of high concentrations of uranium can cause severe health effects such as cancer of the bone or liver. Inhaling large concentrations of uranium can cause lung cancer from the exposure of alpha particles. Uranium is also a toxic chemical, meaning that ingestion of uranium can cause kidney damage from its chemical properties much sooner than its radioactive properties could cause cancers of the bone or liver. So what is the definition of uranium hexafluoride? Well, uranium hexafluoride is radioactive. Its ionizing radiation can cause mutations, cancer, and or reproductive damage. Uranium hexafluoride is a highly corrosive material and chemical, and contact can severely irritate and burn the skin and eyes with possible eye damage. So I asked Bob about this, and here's what Bob replied to me about that overturned truck. He said they used the same cast when they did the demonstration 40-some-odd years ago at the state capitol parking lot. Mobile Chernobyl, we dubbed the cast. The casts then and now are for making low-enrichment fuel rods. The really good stuff is the bomb-grade U-235 or plutonium intended to power submarines. Those are accompanied by armed Marines. Admiral Rickover insisted on the most potent fuel rods. That's what Bob told me when I asked him about this overturned truck. Mobile Chernobyl. And this transport company has had a number of violations, a number of citations for violating hazardous waste distribution. So I wanted to, of course, let all of you know this is happening throughout the United States, and the governance, the overlords, those that are controlling this country are doing this to us, just as they are literally citing many more wireless, different types of wireless emissions that are literally creating mind control, not only in the United States but worldwide. And I've done many shows on eliminating wireless and Wi-Fi and all wireless in your homes, including your handheld telephone sets, anything wireless. If you have Wi-Fi, if you've got anything wireless, including your microwave and your cell phones, you really have to look at the cumulative effect of how you are killing yourselves as well. We must be as healthy as we possibly can to stave off some of the many intentional methods in which they are destroying life and recreating life as we have known it. I wanted to make one last comment before I ended this very brief program this evening, and I wanted to certainly extend our concern and horror as we're watching these horrific fires in Greece and Turkey right now. And when I was looking at Sky News and watching how they're evacuating entire islands in Greece, and the skies are glowing red, and the people are boarding these boats, and their villages are being wiped out. They have very little firefighting equipment. They were not prepared at all, which was all part of the plan, and Greece is burning. Greece is on fire. It's also near some resorts where many tourists are being evacuated from. And this is, of course, the use of secret space war orbital lasers is also responsible for these fires, their fires, and our fires as well. So I want to, again, refer you to stopthecrime.net. I will be posting an interview in just a few days about the different U.S. Inc. We're a corporation, and I will be talking about the corporate agencies that have defined how they're going to go forward in areas in this country and specific areas which I have named for resilience planning. In other words, these are war games. Resilience means after you've been hit with some kind of catastrophic intentional disaster, whether it's economic, whether it's riots, whether it's a weaponized weather event of all types, then they're going to be coming in and clearing out those lands to preserve the open space for nature. And we're going to get into more of that in an upcoming show, so stay tuned. I hope to join Yana again in a few days or possibly next week, and we'll cover more information that you must know about. Take care, everyone. Be safe, and visit our website, stopthecrime.net and primarywater.org. I want to say people have been asking about where do they find primary water locators and drillers, and I want to end the show by saying You need 2 people to help you locate primary water on your farm or ranch, or wherever you can drill a well while you still can drill wells. You need the primary water locator. That's an expert that can locate where the water is. And then you need the drill rig and the drill operator. They must work together. The drill rig and the operator, they're not, the drillers, the well drillers by and large, are not taught about primary water. So that is why you need the locator as well. So if you go to primarywater.org and you look over on the right-hand side of the homepage, you will see contact information of being able to get a hold of other primary water locators. They'll work all over the world. In fact, there are a number of well drillers and primary water locators in Africa right now trying to save some of the wildlife and the elephants and so forth, because just as we're experiencing here in the United States, and we're experiencing here in the western United States in particular, completely atmospheric absorption of any moisture, creating the illusion we're running out of water. They don't mind if the animals die. In fact, they stand by and watch the horrors happen. Who do I mean by the they? All of your local water agencies, their higher ups, they know about primary water. I've exposed the fact that I know a city that has drilled in the 70s a couple of primary water wells in secret. So you have to ask yourself, how many cities that we have here that have done that secretively to sell water for a profit at the time that people will pay money to be trucked in, when in fact the real transfer of water now is to get us to drink our reused fecal material, our urine, and our medication. And I've been reporting on that for a very long time. So with all of that being said, and covering the gamma radiation increase and attacks on us in this country, keep yourself as well as you can. Reduce the frequencies in your environment immediately, and certainly take care. We want as many to harden up as possible to be harder to kill. So with that, Stephen, I want to thank you this evening for this broadcast.
You're very welcome, Deborah, as always, and definitely stay informed as you listen, friends, and check out Deborah's websites, both stopthecrime.net and primarywater.org. The information is invaluable. Thank you for listening, and have a good evening.